Today I have some super easy decoupage decor ideas, and I'm starting out with this thrifted bud vase that I picked up for $2.50. First, I'm going to paint the vase white. I always suggest to paint a surface you're going to decoupage white, especially when using napkins or some decoupage papers. That way you can achieve the most vibrant and true to color result on your project. And I'm using a primer first with a sponge dauber here to paint the vase. I recently saw my girl Brandy over at the DIY Struggle do this in order to not get any brush strokes, and let me tell you, I will forever use a sponge dauber now to paint glass or vases like this because you cannot see any of the strokes. Such a great idea. I used my heat gun to dry the primer, and then I went in with this fluff white color from Dixie Belle, but the paint brand really doesn't matter. I'm just trying to use up this one before moving because it's starting to dry out on me and the jar is almost empty. Now for the decoupage part, I got out one of these rich jewel tone flower napkins that I have from IKEA. You want to make sure that you remove all of those solid layers of the napkin. Sometimes there are 2 layers and sometimes there's 3. This napkin has 3 layers, so I need to remove the 2 solid white layers to leave me with just that floral layer. I don't want to just wrap the napkin around this vase. I think there would be way too many wrinkles that way, and I don't think you would be able to see the true beauty of this napkin. So instead, I chose 2 sections that I want to make sure you see on the vase, and I'm going to cut those out. I like to take a detail paintbrush, dip it in water, and outline the section of the napkin that I want to remove for my project. You could cut the napkin out with scissors, but in my opinion, it is then harder to blend the edges on your project, where ripping the napkin helps it to blend in seamlessly and look like it was part of the vase, like it was painted on. Next, I'm going to use my liquid patina to apply the napkin pieces. Mod Podge would work just as well. The liquid patina is just a thinner consistency. And I'm also going to use a fan brush and a sponge. The fan brush really helps you to get right under all of those delicate napkin spots, and it's also much easier to clean the glue out without hardening your brush. I like to go section by section, add the glue, smooth out my napkin, and then dab it gently with a sponge to help smooth out any wrinkles and absorb any excess glue. You want to use the sponge gently. I tend to get impatient or try to rub out wrinkles and get a little bit too rough. This is actually the second time that I did this section because the first time I rubbed the sponge and I tore my napkin. Of course that happened. But anyways, I added the second napkin flower that I cut out in the same way, and that's it for this project. Such a simple and easy way to upgrade a bud vase, and you can choose any napkin style with colors that fit your home decor. This project is even easier than the last one. I'm taking this wood house that I got from the Dollar Tree a while back, and I had already painted it white at some point. I'm pretty sure Dollar Tree is carrying these houses regularly now. But anyways, I'm layering on a very generous amount of the Dollar Tree decoupage glue all over the front, the roof, and the sides. Then I'm gonna let that glue dry completely. I wanna use the iron-on method for this project. So once the glue is dried, maybe 20 or 30 minutes later, I'm gonna get my napkin ready. This time I'm using a simple buffalo check pattern, and I separated the layers so that I'm left with only that printed layer. And this napkin only had 2 layers in it, so it was super easy to pull apart. Now I'm gonna line up where I want the pattern to start and end, making sure to keep the outside squares as evenly spaced as possible so I didn't have a full square on one side of the house and then a small little sliver of a square on the opposite side. Before you start ironing a napkin down, once it's in the right position, make sure you grab a piece of parchment paper or wax paper, something that will create a barrier between your hot iron and the napkin but won't melt or stick. You can also use any iron for this. Some of you may remember months ago I had bought this little Cricut iron on impulse, and this is actually the first time that I'm using it. But it was perfect for this little project. If you are using a larger iron, just make sure you do not have the steam setting on. I ironed the face of the house down, and then before moving on to the roof and the sides, I cut the napkin down to make it a little bit more manageable. I also cut slits on the corners where the roof is to make it easier to fold over the sides. I did make one mistake here on the roof. I didn't start my napkin up high enough so that it covered the peak. There is a tiny little sliver that isn't covered, but that's okay. If you create something like this, just make sure you pull up that napkin a little bit higher than you think you need. Once I have my napkin covering all the sides and get over the fact that I made a mistake, I'm using a sanding sponge to remove all the excess napkin all around the edges. Next, I want to add a little pop detail to give this some dimension and personality. So I'm using this bird and floral stencil that I have, and I'm taping down the section that I want to use. I also made sure to cover any parts of the stencil that are not what I want to add, just so I don't accidentally hit those areas in the next step. Now, I glued my stencil down with the decoupage glue. I'm actually going to be adding a raised stencil, and I don't want any of the paste to run underneath of the plastic outline and create a blurry mess. But this is also a great technique to keep in mind anytime you're adding a stencil to something. Even if you're only using paint, this is going to seal those gaps and edges and make sure your stencil comes out crisp and clean. For the texture paste, I'm using this patch and paint spackle. I really like this stuff for making raised stencils because it is light and fluffy, but I don't want it to be white, so I added some paint to color it up in a sage green. Then I'm using a palette knife to spread my texture paste over the top of the stencil. I like to add a generous amount, but don't pile it on too thick. You can see here where that glue was still a little bit wet under the stencil and where it had bled through. If we didn't add the glue layer, the texture might have seeped under that section. It would not have turned out so crisp. But that's it for this one. Again, such an easy project that will layer beautifully on a bookshelf or mantle for display. For this project, I picked up 2 clear glass plates from the Dollar Tree in different sizes. One dinner size plate and one appetizer plate, and I'm sure you can tell where we're going with this one. Here's a little look into my brain when I'm working on and coming up with projects for you guys. I had wanted to use different materials to decoupage with, like napkins and transfers and decoupage papers, so I got out my IOD rub-on transfer book and I love these lavender circles. I thought they would be perfect on the edges of the plates for a subtle accent. But it turned out that they were a little bit too big for the size plates that I have, and I wasn't confident that they would turn out looking good or placed evenly all around the edges of the plate. So I scrapped that idea and I got out this scrapbook paper with a floral pattern. Now, scrapbook paper is thick, so unfortunately this also didn't work out. I wasn't sure how to get it to curve up the sides of the plate nicely without drastically creasing and wrinkles in the paper. Again, I scrapped that idea. I realized that napkins would be the easiest material to use on this curved surface. So on the little plate, I wanted to use this blue and green vintage bird napkin, but I don't want to have parts of the birds cut off around the edges since this is a repeating pattern. I want the birds in the center of the plate and that's it. So I tore the napkin to have only those two birds in the center and I glued them down face down onto the back of the clear plate. Then to fill in around the bird with that same look, I tore various sections of the napkin off and I pieced it all together. After I got all the little pieces added to the plate, I dried the glue with my heat gun and then I sanded off all of that excess napkin hanging off. Then I painted the back of the plate white. Now, this step isn't 100% necessary. You could leave it as is, and I'm gonna show you how that would look in a few minutes. So I wanted these plates to be a set, but not matchy-matchy. And I grabbed this greenery napkin for the large plate. I think this complements the birds beautifully. This time I covered the entire plate with my liquid patina and I laid down that napkin face down again. Of course, I sanded the edges of the napkin off to clean it up, and here you can see it doesn't look too bad just like this. But to match the bird plate, I did paint the back white. You can see the difference here and how much more vibrant that napkin pattern looks when you add the white paint behind it. Like I said, you could also leave it without the back painted white, but I wanted the color to pop, and that's it for this little decoupage plate display set. If you wanted to eat off of these, you certainly could. That is why I added the napkins to the back side, but I did not use dishwasher safe Mod Podge. So these ones cannot be used that way, but if you did want to use your plates, just make sure you use that dishwasher safe glue. For this project, I've had this family MDF sign in my stash for a while. Dollar Tree usually puts these out around Thanksgiving time, and since this is a decoupage video, of course we're going to start out by painting it white. For the decoupage part, I'm going to use this decoupage paper from Dixie Belle, and it's called Sketched Blue Florals, and I love this one. This is the last little bit of this paper that I have, and it doesn't quite fit across the whole word. So I have to finagle it and figure out where and how I want to rip the paper so it all blends seamlessly. Then I used that decoupage glue and I applied to the full section of the MDF that this first piece of the rice paper would cover. Now, once the glue dried, and for this one, I'm using those flimsy disposable nail files to cut off all that excess paper. A sanding sponge would be way too thick to fit into all the little nooks and crannies of this project, but you could also use a folded up sheet of sandpaper. I was gonna add some C-hooks to the bottom of this and hang a few family photos, but I decided not to. That's not really my style. I don't really have photos laying around in my home, but I wanted to give you that idea as an option, and that's it for this one. All of these projects today were super easy, and I was able to make them all over just a few hours on a Saturday.